Good evening, good evening. Welcome along. Tuesday, 8 o'clock here in Spain. It is another Inspire and Be Inspired, your motivational conversation and life hacks. Do you like that? I made it all up myself. Tonight, I am going to be talking to a couple, as you can see on the graphic, Mark and Emma Wilkinson. I'm sure Mark really needs no introduction, and it is the first time I am going to be happy to talk to his wife, Emma, and we're going to be talking about e-colours. I can see we have many people joining us live, and also I've got to say hi to you on the recording. Thanks for being here. Let's get on over to our guests. We have Mark and we have Emma. Mark, with your permission, I would like to talk to your lovely wife first, if that's okay.
Please be my guest.
Emma, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. I know it's very valuable. Um, Welcome along to Inspire and Be Inspired. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good, thank you. It's only valuable because I had to do so much work for Mark in the background.
Good. You wouldn't want it.
He's,
You wouldn't want it any other way, though, would you? Really?
he's released me for the evening so I can actually talk to you, which is nice.
Good. 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 Do you want to give us a very brief introduction on yourself and your involvement with the e-colors and how it came about?
Um, well, my name's Emma. I set up a corporate event business in 2005, so maybe 16 years ago now. So I've always done a lot with team building and organisations. Then, of course, I met Mark Wilkinson, the infamous Mark Wilkinson. Uh, and Mark was the one that introduced me to e-colours, actually.
Okay.
Do you want to tell the story, Mark, about how that happened?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, I met Emma and I thought she's a nice girl, very calm, very, very attractive. I thought I could spend some time with her. So we started dating and then I just found her quite, it's like slow at making any kind of decision. It was kind of like, I find it certainly compared to my previous experience, I wanted a woman who was a lot calmer and I could be a partner with. But I also found it, very sort of slow at making decisions. There was a bit of procrastination in there and stuff like that. And I, knowing my e-colours as I did, as a yellow blue as I was at the time, now I'm a yellow red, but I was a yellow blue at the time. And I was like, would you mind just doing this e-colours personality diversity indicator? So I asked her to do it and she came out. I'm 40% yellow, which is all the socializer and how you connect with people. With a little teeny tiny, like 9% green, which is the logical planning and thinking. And Emma came out almost exactly the opposite, which is 40% green. So massive strategy, planning and thinking, and like a very small amount of yellow, as in the socializer. But what actually, when you look at it and we look at each other, it was kind of like, actually, if we work together here, we, work together as a couple and as a team, we would actually be really, really, really strong. And that e-colors personality diversity indicator gave us a really, really good start point and a good grounding for us to be able to just then move forward together.
Right. Okay. So that's really interesting how you made that quite scientific judgment on the future possibilities of your relationship. But
Well,
I'm gonna roll this back a bit because I think we've gone headlong into
We have.
explaining all about e-colors. I think we need to break it right down to basics. Let's talk to the people who have no idea what e-colors are, and let's tell them in the most basic of terms why they need to be joining you this Friday on the brand new course that you're going to be running. Because I truly believe this could change somebody's life. It's definitely changed my life. It's definitely created an awareness of behaviors that I have, and it's created an understanding of others' behaviors. And all the vocal booth crew will be more than aware of this in recent times. So, Mark, I'll ask you, take it back to basics. Explain what e-colors is.
so it's a personality tool. So you answer 35 questions on an online questionnaire. It takes you about 15 minutes. And you answer these questions. And there's e-color combinations. So we have top color and bottom color, because those will be our two biggest percentages. And then we'll have two lower colors that will be obviously the lower percentages. So we're all made up of these percentages. So we all have a certain amount of these skills, if you like. So the yellow is the socializer, the red is the doer, the green is the thinker, and the blue is the relator. And we all have percentages of all of these within us. And it's about the dominant personality styles that come through. And the way it actually came from is it came from health and safety and oil rigs. because what they were trying to do was understand how people could get hurt. And there's 12 different e-color combinations. And they found out, they went to each of the e-color combinations and everyone answered their indicator questions. And they said, how can you get hurt? And they did this to thousands of people. It actually came from Lewis Senior, who was the head of health and safety for Transocean, the biggest drilling rig company in the world. And he found out how people could get hurt for each individual type of e-color. And that was a huge step forward for Chevron, who was their biggest client, still their biggest client in the States. So that's how they used it. But what they also found was that it brought productivity. So it brought people closer together. So I use the lovely example of me understanding Emma as far as she's a planner and a strategist, and she needs to think things through before she makes decisions, and how I'm much faster paced, much more impulsive, and I go for it in a big way. And I'm also going to use the lovely example of you, Andy, because I remember many times getting one-line emails off you, which seemed incredibly blunt. And there were times
they used to frighten me sometimes.
There used to be this one-line email of like, why don't you understand me, almost, and I'd be like, because Andy, I don't get it. I don't understand what's, I'm yellow, and one of my traits is that I'll miss the detail. I don't always grab every single detail. Emma gets the detail. You, as a top color red, and you're red-green, you're very task orientated. You just want to get things done. And for you, it's kind of, other people might frustrate you because they understand things and they need information in a different way. Mm-hmm. And I think, you came on the e-colors course with us last time. And it was a wonderful moment because you really kind of like found it a bit of an eye-opener, right?
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. As I say, I've always said I profess to be quite self-aware, but I also state that you never know everything. Every day is a school day. And it made me stop, and I think I had learned similar things in the past, but it made me understand and appreciate, actually, yeah, you do have to take other people's, not necessarily their feelings, but the way they process the information. And once you understand that, then it just gives you the patience, if that's the right word, or the to just stop and say, okay, let me address this now in a way that some people will get. The only problem that I have is addressing 600 different types of people in a way that they're all going to receive the information. And maybe you can explain how you overcome that, because sometimes you can speak to people as if you're treating them like idiots, and then other times you can speak to people and it goes clearly over their heads. How do you find the balance?
From my perspective, from the e-colors perspective, there's only 12 different types of e-color. So what it means is, if anyone's having any kind of anxiety issues or anything like self-doubt, anything like that, actually, what you realize when you come onto an e-colors course that we're running one on Friday at 10 a.m., as you know, Andy, when you come on an e-colors course, you actually meet a lot of people, but then you meet a lot of people that are exactly like you. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to be you. That's the important part of this. It's okay to be you. We had a very senior woman in a company come in recently, and she said she used to send these huge emails, a little bit like Emma does sometimes, these huge, she's top color green, all these huge long emails that she'd send to people, and people wouldn't read them, and they'd be missing the point, and all this kind of stuff. And she used to think, oh no, I'm too much for people. I can't, I'm not getting my point across, anything like that. But when she understands that actually these other three e-colors, the reds, they just want direct and they just want to know and they just want to get on with it as quickly as possible. The other greens, they want all the detail and they want to go into it to the nth degree. The blues want to relate. So they're about people. So they're big people and they want to empathize and understand. And the yellows, we just want to smile and have a little chat and find out who's involved and if we can get involved as well. And that's very, very basic. But the bottom line is when you can understand the self, then you've got a better opportunity to understand the other types of e-colors. Go on.
That's the important thing of e-colors, that e-colors divides the brain into these 4 sections, and your top color comes out. You do this questionnaire, and then at the end you get a premium report, and you read this report and you're like, oh my God, this is me. How have they got this so perfectly correct? And this is written for me. Like another person, Jason Anker, did his one, and he was astounded about how perfect it was. So it kind of, first of all, it gives you more self-awareness about yourself, how you are and how you act and how you want information. And then once you understand yourself, you start seeing it in other people, that how different they are. And the one lady Mark was talking about, like me, she used to send very lengthy emails because I like to process information written. I like to send a very long email. And then this lady said she'll send her long emails, but at the top, she'll now do little short overview bullet points for the reds, the yellows that don't have time. They don't want to read it. They just want the facts, the key points. And then if they want to read more detail, they can. So it's like if I'm producing something for Mark, that I know there's no point me giving him a 5-6 page document because I just know he won't read it. But if I highlight the key bullet points sections for him, then that's it, he's got it. And that saves me time. I'm not wasting my time writing lengthy reports for him. And he gets the information that he needs.
Great.
It was quite funny because it started with us noticing it in our sales and our relationship. And then once you kind of get a handle on that, you then start thinking, oh my God, you could use this anywhere. This would be great for self-development. This is great for health and safety. This is fantastic in organizations, in like marketing teams that come together. You know, when you work in an office and there's always that one person that just irritates you, or you just don't get them, or you're just not clicking with them. Like this tool's like game changer. But you actually, there's a lot of doubt and resistance at first. People say, oh, that colours thing, yeah, I did it 5 years ago. And yeah, me too. I did it 5 years ago. And there's a frame on my desk somewhere with my top 5 strengths, which I can't remember what they are right now. But e-colours is different. It's easy. I'm a green blue. It's not difficult to remember that. And if I was to see somebody else with their e-colours, I straight away know how they want information, how I should be talking to them, what they need. And I haven't even like spoken a word to them.
It's a very strong, empowering tool, isn't it?
Every e-color has strengths and potential limiters. So you can have your strengths, and on the premium report, when we go through this in coaching sessions, the top colors and the top 2 colors will have strengths and potential limiters. And if you've got too much of the strengths, they can become potential limiters. And if you allow the potential limiters to like overtake your life, so for instance, with Emma as a top color green,
analyze
and procrastination,
one of my strengths.
Yeah, but that can be too much. Whereas I can be talkative, which is a strength, and over talkative, which is a potential limiter. So, you know, it's important to get that balance and understand it. And e-colors brings you aware, I would say.
Mm-hmm. One of the important things as well, which I've learned from listening to yourself, many of your online talks that you do, and being involved with your 5 days to remix your life, which was a brilliant 5 days. I would highly recommend anybody does that the next time it comes around, was to say that, and I remember the phrase, but I can't actually pinpoint it. You were saying about judgment. Judgment is bad, because I can find myself, I did find myself being judgmental, not in a nasty kind of a sense, because I'd like to think I'm a very giving person, but I did used to pass judgment, but now it's about understanding and noticing the differences in people rather than seeing it as a fault. Is that, have I learned?
Yeah. Well, the quote is, observation is power, judgment is weakness.
Yes.
Now, Andy, if I said, are you a weak guy? What would you say?
Not at all. You don't want to see my biceps.
No, so you're not a weak man. And yet, if you find yourself judging other people, I used to be very judgy, you know what I mean? About clothes, about music, about everything. And then when I stopped judging, when someone said judgment is weakness, I went, is it? Okay. And then I started to get into observation. And the more observational I became, the more I started to really understand that quote. And we have these little wristbands here, and you'll see on here, we've got the play and pause. Now, as a top color yellow, I sometimes have to hit the pause button and just slow myself down a little bit and allow space for other people. Emma, when do you have to hit your play button?
When do I have to hit my play button? Normally it's like to take action. Like I can plan and plan and plan. I'll keep planning, but at some point I have to say, right, that's enough. I'm sure I've got enough information. I need to just get it done now. I need to do it. I need to clear it from my to-do list. And also my play button is probably when I need to interrupt Mark and take over a conversation. So because I'm naturally, I'll sit back and let you guys do all the talking, but I know I can speak up and I have got things to say, but to press that play button, kind of, I'm not even wearing a bracelet, but you kind of see people doing that, like, right, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to pause. I'm going to stop thinking and worrying about this. Now I'm going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like our niece and nephew have done it as well. They're 7 and they're 6 and 9. I'll get told off for that. And they've done it as well. My niece has got 2. She's made some bracelets. She's got play and pause bracelets, and she goes to school now. And she's normally quite quiet, 6-year-old. She knows that press her play button to speak up and answer the question that the teacher's asked, or get involved in something. And likewise, it's been proven in e-colours in education, where children that, those kids that always shout out the answer. And you probably might think, oh, that when you were at school, you probably think, oh, that guy's, the boffin of the class or something like that. But now these children are like pressing their pause buttons, and they're letting people have a chance about giving the answer. So this is like being picked up with children as young as 6, 7 that get it, and they get it straight away. But I just find that incredible.
We're getting a lot of remarks and a lot of comments. I'm not sure if you can see those. So we have got people paying attention and agreeing with a lot of your words. Thank you, guys. We're deep in conversation, so I'm not going to reference you immediately, but we will get there. I know Mark and Emma are just preparing for a book club that they're going to have to shoot off very soon. So let me ask you, Mark, again. What can somebody grasp immediately from this course? Because I believe it is invaluable, and I know that you do as well. But how do we get this across to someone that this really is something they need to look at?
Well, I'll be honest with you. As you are, a top colour red, sometimes reds and yellows can be the hardest people to actually get involved in things because we're so fast paced. So to actually get you to actually do that PDI, and I saw you once, you had a little rage, didn't you? You had a little Facebook post rage, and I was like, Andy, we're doing this course on Saturday morning. Perhaps you might want to come and have a look at it, yeah? Because if you keep raging on Facebook, people might feel like, whoa. Now all your vocal booth people, they of course, everyone knows you, Andy, and they love you for who you are. But the beautiful thing about this is that you have picked up something where you're like, well, actually, if I hit my pause button just a little bit, I mean, I noticed something you didn't hit the pause button today, and I nearly put something on the post as well. But the point is that, if you hit the pause button and you actually start to just calm, you remember the Bob Proctor stuff and the stuff I talk about, calm down, speed up. Yeah. It's very much like that. Go on, Emma, sorry.
For all we know, Mark, he probably did hit the pause button, and that was like version 8.
That was
the version he thought about for 10 minutes and still put it up there. But if I could just say one other thing as well, because Jason Anker, Emma mentioned Jason Anker, MBE, earlier. Jason is very well known for behavioural safety conversations. He fell off a ladder when he was 24. He's never walked again. His book is incredible, Paralysis to Success. His comment about e-colours after doing the course, and I think you were on the same course, Andy, his comment was, if I had known my e-colours before my accident, would I have acted differently? It's possible. Mm-hmm. Now, for a man to actually say that and admit that, actually, if I'd have known this about myself before I fell off a ladder and never walked again, and for him to actually come up with that comment, that's so incredible. To me, like when he said it, I was like, whoa, it was amazing. It gave me goosebumps even saying it now. To be that self-aware, to understand. And if we can get this e-colours to kids as they do in America, in education, and it's used in sports, and Emma and I are championing this here in the UK because we believe in it so much. It's worked for us in relationship and everywhere else as well.
And lots of people who've discovered their e-colours have kind of said, oh my goodness, if only I knew this when I was a kid. If only I knew that it's all right to be me. It's all right to be picky and all detail orientated and quiet and not speaking up too much. That's all right to be me, and there are other people like me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is the one thing that I gleaned, and I did say on the original information about tonight's talk. It was yourself, Mark, that gave me the kick up the ass to be sat in this chair in front of the camera. I've been on air for 20 plus years, and I'm more than happy interviewing people. I don't really like being in front of the camera, but I've been doing it for a good few weeks now, and I am enjoying it more and more. And some great stuff has come from this, so thank you very much for giving me that confidence. I'm not
really good at it.
I'm not an unconfident person, am I?
No, you're really good at it. And then sometimes we just need a coach or someone just to give us a nudge. And I must just say to Peter, he says, I have the book Life Remixed. Excellent read. I want to say thank you, Peter. Really appreciate
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm conscious of talking too much because I know you have so much information that you want to share. Is there anything else that you believe is important to get across, so that people can? And there are still places for them to register for Friday, right? And how do they go about that?
Emma?
They can go to our health and safety website, which is hillmontassociates.com. There's a section on there under our services where there's a link to Eventbrite. If you go to Eventbrite and search for Hillmont Associates, you'll find the event there as well. So yeah, come along, discover your e-colors, find out what it's all about. A lot of people need to, once they've done it, they get it, and they take it on board like so well. But at the beginning, there's a lot of doubt and resistance. It's a bit like, oh, this color thing, or you're going to put me in a pigeonhole pocket, you know, with these colors. And it's not like that at all. There's lots of really strong ethics around e-colors. No e-color is better than another one. It's all about finding people's own, what should I say, Mark?
It's about self-awareness. The whole thing is realizing potential.
And appreciating each other's diversity is what I was.
Absolutely, appreciating diversity. And Andy, realizing your potential. I mean, realizing that actually, if you hit the pause button on that top color red, you know, those kind of like one-line emails that used to scare my wife. If you realize that, and actually if you understand that she's a top color green.
But even if he doesn't, now I know that Andy's a top color red. I get it now. He wants to get to the point. He's not mucking about. Get to the point. Job done. Finished. I'm not offended by that anymore. That's great.
Beautiful. If nothing
That's how
else,
it works, though. That's how it works. And if you can see, we're all in harmony together. The whole thing is realizing potential. And the big thing about this is productivity, right? Emma and I are so productive together because we're a team who appreciates each other's strengths and potential limiters. And if you put that in a corporate environment and it's worked, if you join Chevron, you get the induction, you do your e-colors, and you get an e-colors coach who's actually there. And Chevron is the safest and most productive energy company on the planet.
Wow.
It is not an accident.
And can I also mention, we did start a e-colors UK Facebook group, which people are welcome to go and search for and join. And I put a post in this group, which I probably wouldn't have put on mainstream social media. So I won't mention the post. But the point was, we had so many people like giving their different opinions, and there was no arguments. It was just all accepting. Like, I get it. You're top color blue. That's why you think that. You're top color green. That's why you think that. And you just kind of think, oh my goodness, if we could get this into like Parliament or something, if Boris wants to come and discover his e-colors on Friday, he's welcome to.
Come on, Boris.
Like, it would just be a fantastic tool that everyone can use.
Next level. And so finally as well, outside of the corporate, family, social, children, all of those, there's so many benefits from that aspect as well, right? Communication amongst your family and friends.
And you're welcome as a family. I have a client that is asking all of her family to do e-colors, and they're all going to come on an awareness course with us. Once I realized what my dad's e-colors were, and he was a top color red, all of a sudden I got it. And he doesn't wind me up or upset me as much as I would say he used to before I knew that. So yeah, it's just an incredible tool.
It's very liberating, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm conscious of the time is racing for you. So finally, anybody that is interested in participating in Friday's course, if you just comment now, Mark and Emma will come back and they'll read all of your comments. They will reply to them maybe tomorrow, because I know they're going to be busy this evening, and I strongly recommend that you get involved. Guys, I will leave you to your evening. Good luck with the book club. What is it tonight, Mark? Chapter 8?
It's we're doing chapter 8 of Life Remixed.
New kind of medicine.
I'll just show you that. It's a new kind of medicine. That's the international bestseller badge. And my nutritional coach, Dave Hompes, is going to be with me. And I'll tell you what, this guy is like a nutritional scientist. He's going to be amazing. He's hilarious and he's top fella. So yeah, it's going to be really cool.
Brilliant. I might steal him off you for one of my talks, if I may.
Hey, talk to him. He's a lovely guy.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I'm gonna spend some time talking to my feed now. But thank you for being here, and I'll catch up with you later.
Big love, mate. See you soon.
Bye.
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 Okay, so that was Mark and Emma. They have gone. I'm going to take 5 minutes while I can, just to say hello to all of you guys. Let me read back and see who's been here. Yeah, it's been a bit of a journey for myself over the last couple of months now, doing these talks to the camera. I'm fairly certain that each and every one of you are friends of mine through the radio show, through Vocal Booth, so you all know everything about me. You know my personality, laid bare. I wear my heart on my sleeve. But being here in front of the camera is something that I truly, truly love. And when I've got guests, I'm conscious of talking too much about myself, conscious too much of talking to you guys, because my guests have something really important to say. But now, because that was quite a short talk, I'm going to spend 5 or 10 minutes chatting with you, if you don't mind. If you do, then you're more than welcome to leave. How diplomatic was that? I'm learning, aren't I? I'm scrolling up to say hi to Jason. Thanks for being here, mate. Jason was on my e-colours course, I believe. Andrea, Simon, to Angel. Johnny Al says, new territory, so approaching very open-minded. Johnny, get involved, my friend. Definitely get involved. The wife was watching and she says the bracelets for kids are such a great idea. Peter Langford as well involved. Nice to have you here, my friend. And yeah, that's it. Everybody was there. I know we're getting a lot of people coming back to watch these talks on after the event, because not everybody can watch them live. So I appreciate that. We're getting quite a good few views. At the very beginning, you may recall I was getting quite frustrated about getting in front of people. Now I understand why that happens. Now I understand how better to combat that. So we send out an email just before I go live on air, maybe a few hours before. If people can come and watch us, then they will. If they can't, they know where it is to pick up the recording. If you look on the screen, I can see here a very important topic that we're going to be discussing in 2 weeks' time. It's the 1st of June. The topic and the question is, I haven't got a drink or drugs problem, or have I? I know that many people will relate to this. I know many people I've spoken to at first hand who get in from work and they've told me how difficult it is not to reach for that 1, 2, 3 cans of an evening, how difficult it is not to finish off that bottle of wine. And as the conversation we were just having then, this talk isn't about being in judgment. It's literally about looking within and seeing if things need to be addressed, and if they do, how you can address them. Also, in a few weeks' time after that, this morning I confirmed a conversation I'm going to be having highlighting domestic abuse support. That's quite a deep topic, and I'm going to be really excited to talk to a lady who has a support network in place and will provide some answers for you. Every other Tuesday, we have the Soulful House Mafia conversation, which is slightly more upbeat and a lot more light-hearted, talking about the glory days of the music that we all know and love. And that's basically it. Telling you what I tell you week after week. I really appreciate your support, and it's great being here to talk to you guys. All this has been made possible from all of the support of the people who joined my Access program. It's your subscriptions that have enabled me to get a more stronger powered computer. It's enabled me to get a new monitor, so some new tools that make everything run as smooth as possible. And as we progress, I got a few more ideas as well. Thank you very much. I will leave you to the rest of your Tuesday evening, and I will catch you online at the weekend. So don't forget, next Tuesday for the Soulful House Mafia, we actually have Spoonie and Chrissy T, and then 2 weeks' time, we've got that all-important drink and drug conversation. Thank you for being here, guys. I am out.